Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel to another Pokemon Emerald Battle Frontier update. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video and a lot of stuff has happened since then, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right on into it. So first things first, we have raised an Ursaring. Ursaring is one of my favorite Pokemon. It became one of my favorite Pokemon due to playing through Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Playing through XD, it was always just something that would one-hit KO Pokemon with return, and it was just super strong. The breeding process for this Ursaring was actually really easy. It was super fast, and it didn't take me any time at all. Checking my notes for the Ursaring, I don't have the exact time that I hatched the Teddy Ursa, but I know I would just take maybe a couple of eggs at a time and just go ahead and hatch them, and eventually I hatched one. When I was going through and checking all the natures and IVs, I found this one was a female with an adamant nature. My first thought was finally I had one with adamant nature so I can easily pass down the nature to more Teddy Ursas. But after going to the IV checker, I found that it had perfect IVs in HP and attack, which was my goal. So like I said, the breeding process was super easy for this guy. It didn't take me any time at all. I think maybe I had 3 batches of 4 eggs, so it was really simple. So training this Teddy Ursa up was pretty easy as well. I ended up using the rest of the rare candies I had on my Emerald save file, so I'm not tempted to do the duplication glitch anymore with them. I've enjoyed actually leveling them up to level 100 by using the lucky egg, so I feel like getting rid of any sort of temptation there would be the best bet. I decided to take Ursaring over to Victory Road to level it up. Leveling up on Victory Road was actually probably not the best place because it was slower than all the Golbats and they would end up using Confuse Ray and it would be really annoying. Once I hit about level 50 there, I decided to go ahead and just take it to the Elite Four and train up there. This was a lot easier because I could just swap train with Rayquaza until Ursaring could knock everything out itself. In the process, I ended up maxing out my money again, so that was really awesome too. I want to say it took me about 2 hours to actually finish training the Ursaring to level 100, so this was by far the fastest I've ever raised one to level 100 through training. The way I usually pass the time when I'm training Pokemon like this, instead of just using a rare candy glitch, I usually just throw on some sort of TV show and just kind of mindlessly press A, and it makes it go by a lot faster. I used to hate leveling up Pokemon. I used to think it was the most tedious and boring task ever, and now I think it's probably one of the most calming and soothing parts of playing Pokemon for me. So getting into the role of Ursaring is supposed to be a Pokemon that kind of just comes in later on and cleans up any sort of mess that either Salamence or any other Pokemon couldn't clean up. I really like pairing it with the special attacking Salamence. I think it's a really nice combo, especially with Salamence's Intimidate ability. So this Teddy Ursa was trained in 252 HP, 252 attack, and 4 in speed. The 4 extra EVs you can really put anywhere. Ursaring really isn't that fast of a Pokemon, so it's not going to be outspeeding anything, but it definitely packs a major punch. I think if you have the ability to get the Lucky Egg either through XD or through Fire Red or Leaf Green in the Safari Zone, I think it is the best way to level up Pokemon to level 100, and I think that the best place for it is actually the Hoenn Elite Four. According to my notes, it really only took me a couple hours to raise it to level 100, and one note I emphasized in that it was much faster than Fire Red. So moving on to how Ursaring has been performing. The reason this update is coming a few weeks after Salamence is because I really wanted to try to get a gold medal. I was struggling trying to find the right moves and set for Ursaring. I started with having just Return and Earthquake plus Rest and Sleep Talk. I thought this would probably be one of the better sets to have for Ursaring if we didn't go with the Choice Band build, and I gave it the Chesto Berry. So I decided to take it to the Battle Dome. I took the Salamence that had Hydro Pump and a bunch of special attacking moves, and I took Ursaring, and I took Starmie because Starmie has just been a major MVP. A slight update on this Salamence as well, the 4th move I ended up giving it was Flamethrower. I felt Flamethrower was really good for Pokemon like Scizor or for Fortress, just Pokemon that really need a fire type move. So going through the Battle Dome, Salamence, Starmie, and Ursaring were a really good team. I always felt like I needed to really think about which two I wanted to bring in rather than just always bringing Starmie and Registeel like I was doing before. And I'm going to go through, we actually got our record for going through the Battle Dome, and we're going to have a few of the battles playing in the background, but I specifically want to talk about how good the team was performing. So anytime I really saw any sort of Heracross or any sort of fighting type, I was always going to lead with Salamence because pretty much every single time they had Rock Tomb or Rock Slide. So the way that I would go about this was I would throw out Salamence, give it an Intimidate, and then switch into Starmie, swap back into Salamence, and continue the process until it probably had 3 Intimidates on it, really cutting down its attack. By then, I had no fear of any sort of Mega Horn going for Starmie, and I was able to knock out any sort of Heracross. As for other fighting types like Machamp, I really had no fear with those guys. Most of them just had some sort of rock type move. They didn't have anything that would really affect Starmie. So leading Salamence was always just the best case scenario, leading off with the Intimidate. And overall, the strategy was very effective. Anytime I would have any of the trainers come up when I got into rounds 7, 8, I would always just pull up the Bulbapedia that had the list of trainers and the possible Pokemon they could have with all their movesets. It's made it really helpful in trying to make sure that I took the 2 correct Pokemon, because if you just take one wrong Pokemon, it could lead to disaster. So with this, we passed round 9 and we reached round 10, which was a round with Tucker, and I truly thought that I was going to go ahead and get the gold medal. However, we lost the first match. It was against a trainer that had the legendary birds, and it was just too strong. I don't want to give it too much credit because I also did make a really big misplay. I led with Starmie and I switched into Ursaring against the Zapdos, and that was just the complete wrong play. I should have just stayed in with Starmie, hit it with Ice Beam, and that would have brought it to the point where Ursaring could come in and clean it up and then take on whatever was coming next. I'm not sure how much it mattered though, because truthfully the next 2 Pokemon were probably faster than the Ursaring, and I probably would have been knocked out anyways. I was pretty upset about it, and I decided to run through the Battle Dome a few more times. I don't think I ever got to round 9 or round 10 again, but I'm still going on with my streaks anytime I have free time. Most of the time when I'm just sitting at work and I don't have much to do and I've finished all my paperwork, sometimes I just go through one round really quick because it only takes about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll have another medal to talk about, or at least another Pokemon to talk about. Like I said, Lantern is still a Pokemon I would really like to train, and I think it would be nice to have a really bulky Pokemon to pair in with Ursaring and Salamence. I'm still trying to keep it under the idea of no trading or anything like that, but I think that it might be time for us to diversify some of the Pokemon we're able to have. I think getting some Kanto Pokemon would be really cool, like having Blastoise or having Venusaur would be really nice. I also want to thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. I had originally recorded this voiceover when we had just gotten to 20 subscribers. I decided to redo it and we're almost at 30 subscribers. So I really appreciate everybody that took the time to subscribe and like the videos and leave comments. It really does motivate me to keep going. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody that stays and watches, and I'll see you guys next time.